In a small village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a woman named Asha. Her once close-knit family had become fractured, with tension, misunderstandings, and constant bickering taking hold of their lives. The warmth and laughter that once filled their home had faded, leaving Asha feeling hopeless and disconnected. One day, while wandering around through the market, Asha heard whispers of a wise sage who had helped many villagers find peace in their lives. Desperate for a solution, she decided to seek out this sage, hoping to find a way to mend her broken family. Asha journeyed deep into the forest where the sage was said to live. After hours of searching, she found a humble hut surrounded by blooming flowers and the sounds of birds. The sage, an elderly woman with kind eyes and a warm smile, welcomed Asha inside. As they sat together, Asha poured out her heart, sharing the pain and sorrow as she had in her family. And this pain and sorrow had consumed her and her family. The sage listened patiently, her expression thoughtful. While Asha finished, the sage spoke gently. Peace within a family begins with peace within yourself. If you want to heal your family, you must first transform your own energy and perspective. The sage then shared 6 steps with Asha, steps that would not only change her, but also subtly influence her family. First, the sage began, you must shift your own energy. When you return home, take time each day to center yourself, meditate, connect with nature, and surround yourself with positivity. As you cultivate inner peace, your energy will naturally begin to affect those around you. Asha nodded, feeling a glimmer of hope for the very first time in weeks. When she went home, she connected. She got grounded. She walked out in her garden every single day, feeling the sun on her face and the grass beneath her feet, smelling the flowers as they opened for the day. The one thing that she noticed is that she felt better. So she went back out to the woods to see the sage. The sage welcomed her in and said, next, the sage said, you must learn to see from a higher perspective. Understand that your family members are also struggling, each in their own way. Rise above the conflicts and view the situation with compassion. When you stop taking things personally, you will find it easier to respond with love. So Asha, with a newfound bounce in her step, went back to the house, feeling energized. And already, only at the beginning of step 2, did she realize she has control over how she feels, and thus influencing the people around her, as well as the energy. So she went and she just breathed. She just looked at things from this higher perspective and looking for solutions, things that she could do in action to help bring things back together. She went back out on the 3rd day, and the sage's words really resonated with Asha, and the sage asked her how things were going. The first thing she said was, I feel a little bit more at peace, but it is hard. I'm getting intertwined with the problem. It's kind of bogging me down, and I'm feeling that as soon as I start thinking about what is going on in my family, I start to feel trapped. I start to feel disconnected and full of doubt and fear. And the sage said, just breathe, sit here, sip this tea, listen to the birds, and feel the furniture beneath you. And Asha took those words in, took a big deep breath, grounding her energy, sipping liquid from earth, connecting to Mother Earth. And then the sage said, 3rd, this is very important. This will begin to shift everything rather quickly, is to visualize success. Every morning, close your eyes and imagine your family living in harmony. Picture the love, the laughter, and the connection that you desire. Then let's use this visualization to guide your actions, your decisions throughout the whole day. Asha could already see in her mind's eye the power of this practice. Not only did she begin to elevate and feel this emotional connection to the end result, but she felt her fear and doubt and worry just fade away, letting the light overcome the darkness in her mind, resting and relaxing her heart. She could see that this practice was so powerful, and again she set the mug down on the table, wished the sage good day, and said that she would be back tomorrow. She went home and she continued to ground and meditate, connecting to Mother Earth, asking for assistance and perspective, asking for help. And in her visualization, she could hear and see the family connecting. She could hear the laughter and the great conversation. She could feel the harmony between her and her family, and it lit her up and put a smile on her face and tears in her eyes. And she allowed this emotion to really resonate with her. She allowed this emotion to wash over her and become her new truth. When she opened her eyes, she went about her day with a whole newfound confidence, feeling completely empowered that change was about to happen. The next day, again, getting hit with a truck right in the face of the current situation, she forgot her practice. And she runs up through the woods, up the hill, into the sage's house and says, I don't know what I'm going to do. I am so full of fear and doubt. I've been trying to meditate and I just can't get there. I'm walking through the woods and trying to connect to Mother Earth and I just feel so abandoned. I don't know what to do. The sage again hands her a mug of tea and says, please sit down and breathe. Slow your thoughts and your mind and your racing, limiting beliefs down to nothing. Try to find the gap between those worrisome thoughts of yours. And Asha sat down once again with a warm cup of tea in her hands, closed her eyes, took a deep breath in, and could see the darkness begin to fill with light once again. The sage said, listen, mastering your mind will take time. But once you do it, you are fully empowered to change anything in your life you want. You can heal your body. You can heal relationships. You can influence people around you because you create a beam of light. And once they come into contact with that light, it clears them as well. You will see an elevated version of people around you moving and taking action based on the energy that you are emitting. You are the core of your life, and managing your energy influences your life experience. In that moment, Asha felt empowered yet again. She couldn't figure out why her mind was racing with worry and doubt and fear, and it was like every time she turned around, it was right there punching her in the face and stealing her joy from the day. She wanted nothing more than her family to come together in this harmonious way, to be connected and to be a family and to be brought together again in love. And the sage told her, as if he could read her mind, and he said to her, you must get ahead of your thoughts. Even if one sneaks in there, you must take a deep breath. You must stop that thought from fear and doubt and worry and bring about an empowered, lighter, more harmonious thought. We do this with intentions. We set an intention at the beginning of each day. And sometimes if you're in a bunch of turmoil like you're feeling right now, you might have to set an intention every 10 minutes. Whatever it's going to take for you to master your mind. Start each day with a clear intention to bring love and calm and patience into your home. These intentions will shape your interactions with others and help you to stay focused on what matters most. Asha felt a sense of clarity, and she realized how setting intentions really could anchor her amidst the chaos. She took off again once for home, thinking, I'm going to put notes around my house to remind me. I'm going to put a reminder on my phone and my watch to remind me and wake me up to what it is I actually want. So I am no longer living in fear, because on day one, I got there. I felt amazing. I felt confident and empowered, but I let those thoughts sneak in and take over. I'm going to remind myself, I'm going to stay ahead of it, and I'm going to live on purpose, with purpose. So that night she set intentions going forward through the evening, and then as she was going to sleep, setting intentions of the dreams she wanted to have. And in this dream, that she had. She was standing in a field, a meadow with all these beautiful flowers, and there were 5 different trails or paths leading from the center area with all these flowers. And she stood there looking down each path, and one by one, she saw her family members coming up the path, walking, a little bit confused, but as the closer they got, the more clear their face became into an emotion of happiness and contentment and confidence. And as they all came closer, they grouped together in the center among all these flowers and all this beauty, each of them radiating light. And Asha looked at every single one of them and said, we can connect. We can be happy together. We can change and improve our relationship. One conversation at a time, one action, one behavior. And I hope you're with me. And every single one of them smiled and reflected back to her exactly what she was hoping. And that was love and connection. She had the most peaceful sleep of her entire evening, of her entire life, especially in the middle of all this turmoil. She knew that in any given moment, she can change how she thinks, what she believes, her words that she uses, and her emotional state. She didn't take that lightly. She took that as a gift of enlightenment and awakening. And she sat up in the morning feeling lighter and feeling confident. And she knew, I've only gone through the 4 steps. There's still 2 more to go. She walks through the woods, smelling the flowers, feeling the earth beneath her feet, feeling the sun on her face, goes into the sage's house. And the sage says, you're back for number 5. This one is all about you. It's all about caring for yourself. Focusing on self-care brings about a love without an agenda. Loving yourself is the best love you can give. It is love without boundaries. It's love without an agenda. It's love that is just pure in its form. So focusing on self-care is number 5. You cannot give to others if you are depleted. You cannot water the garden from an empty bucket. You can only love another to the depth in which you love yourself. So taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Taking care of your environment and allowing space and light in. Taking care of yourself emotionally and allowing yourself joy and pleasure throughout the day. Giving yourself a break and space in your mental thoughts. And allowing your mind to be in the creative space to solve problems and to elevate your whole being. When you are whole, you have the strength and resilience to support your family. When you are whole, you have the ability and the power to heal yourself. When you are whole, you have the power to influence others and create a loving, energetic space around you. Asha knew that she had been neglecting her own needs, and she vowed to make self-care a priority. She knew in that very moment that self-care was not selfish, because if I do things that feel good, that fill my bucket, then I have more to give others. Self-care became a priority. She went home. She went for a nice, cool swim. She went for a walk. She ate a healthy meal. She had good rest. Again, she dreamed of her family coming together, feeling united and peaceful in interactions. When she reached the sage's home, yet on the 6th day, the sage said, finally, the last step is you must invoke your own inner power. Your thoughts, words, beliefs, and emotions are powerful tools. Use them to create the reality that you want. Speak with love. Think positively. Believe in the best outcomes and feel the emotions of peace and joy even before they manifest. It has been a most powerful 6 days. Asha left the hut feeling lighter, feeling in her heart with determination and hope that everything was going to work out. She returned home and began to implement the sage's advice. All of these steps became a routine for her. She meditated. She visualized her family together and happy. She set loving intentions every morning, and she took care of herself, filling her days with activities that brought her joy and peace. Slowly and surely, she began to see things changing in her family. She began to notice shifts and changes, not only in their behavior, but in their conversation. She saw other people supporting the harmony between her and her family. People came out of the woodwork she'd never even met or seen before to aid in this manifestation. Her family's healing was gradual, but it was real. And it all started with the transformation within her. She learned that by shifting her own energy and perspective, that she had the power to influence her family's dynamics. The sage's wisdom had guided her to a place of peace and harmony, not by changing others, but by changing herself. And in doing so, she had brought her family back together. Now, I cannot express enough how powerful this story is. Now, of course, the story is fiction, but it really runs parallel to the story that I had about my tumultuous relationship with my mom. I was not about to ask to go to therapy with my mom to help fix our lack of communication or our one-sided phone calls. That was never going to happen. But what I did do are these 6 steps. I started with visualizing. I started with thinking about how can my relationship be different? What can I do to shift my own energy, my own perspective about my relationship with my mom? And I started with my thoughts and my words and my beliefs about my relationship with her. I started to look from a higher perspective and understanding what can our relationship develop into? How can my choices from a higher perspective, how can I make different choices that then influence that relationship? And then the best one, the most powerful one for me anyway, was visualizing what it would be like if my relationship with my mom was healed. And that was the one that really tipped it over the scale for me, was allowing me to really expand my thoughts, getting out of what I thought was this permanent situation to say, you know what, I'm going to try something different. If I try something different, I might just get something different. And I used that to propel myself forward. And then setting intentions every single day, every segment of the day. And it wasn't, all the intentions weren't about my relationship with my mom. They were about my relationship with me. That I choose happiness no matter what. I chose to be a different person. Thus, that allowed my mom to show up differently. And then I focused on self-care. I focused on eating good, getting a good enough sleep, getting good exercise, and really focusing on filling my own bucket. And then invoking the inner power, understanding that my words and my thoughts and my beliefs create my emotions, and I need to be in alignment with what I want to create. And when I do that, that is all about focusing on my thoughts and my words. So instead of saying things like, my mom and I never get along, I start shifting. I welcome a new relationship with my mom. And I spoke those words into great determination, or with great determination. And it showed up. My relationship with my mom completely changed. And it changed so much. It was this powerful thing. I wrote her an email and I said, Mom, I really appreciate how much we're getting along. And I just love it. And I love you. And I love how great our relationship is. And she wrote back literally a one-liner that said, I didn't know we weren't getting along. That's how powerful this is. It's like we jumped to a new timeline. So I invite you to start to put these steps into practice. Little by little, you will begin to feel the power that is tucked away within you. This waking up process that you are unleashing the light onto the world. We wake up because we have to understand that this power lies within us, not outside of us. If we are not in alignment with our goals, no action that we take outside of us is going to change. And if it does, it's either not going to last or it's going to be hard as hell for it to happen. So we want to get in the flow of life. These are the steps. So getting in, shifting your own energy, seeing from a higher perspective, visualizing success, setting daily intentions, focusing on self-care, and invoking the inner power. Let's go get it. Let's do it. Make a promise to yourself that if you did these things for 6 or 7 or 12 days, what your life could be like. I invite you to give it a try. Thank you for listening. If you liked that episode, please subscribe, like, and write a review. Let me know how that landed with you. If you'd like to support this podcast, please check out in the show notes where you could buy me a chai tea, or you can join my newest podcast membership for exclusive episodes, guided meditations, and transformative exercises that you won't find anywhere else. For more transformational tools, techniques, and programs, check out my website, theenrichmentacademy.com. Bring your journal, open your heart, and let's get ready for some serious transformation.